Project by myself, Lynn, Yael, and Harry. Our research question was which toothpaste is most effective for whitening teeth?
The purpose for this was to see which toothpaste is the best for whitening teeth because lots of brands say that they're the best, but we wanted to see for ourselves which toothpaste was actually the best.
So teeth consist of two main layers: the inside dentin layer, which is pink in the picture, and the outside enamel layer, which is in white. And when people eat food, that food forms a pellicle layer on top of the teeth. And if this pellicle layer sits on the teeth for too long, it can permanently stain teeth. Whitening toothpaste uses chemicals to get rid of surface stains, and these chemicals break down the stains on the teeth to make them less yellow. So we used 4 different whitening agents, and each toothpaste had a different whitening agent. The first one was Hello Charcoal toothpaste, and so when the charcoal is on the teeth, it acts as a magnet to help take the stains off the teeth and make the teeth whiter.
Baking soda is the whitening agent for Arm & Hammer. It has alkaline plaque powder, which is abrasive towards the food that gets caught in your teeth to help remove it.
The next toothpaste we used was Colgate Optic White, which includes hydrogen peroxide, which has many abrasives that can help whiten your teeth.
All of the toothpaste have silica as a secondary whitening agent. However, Sensodyne only has silica as its whitening agent, and silica is a very mildly abrasive. Is very mildly abrasive and therefore better for sensitive teeth. The materials we used in this experiment was 8 toothbrushes, 2 bottles of each toothpaste, 40 buffalo teeth, which consisted of 36 teeth we brushed, and 4 controls, 1 liter bottle of Coke, 1 liter of coffee, gloves, and a gradient scale.
So our procedure consisted of 3 main steps. Step 1 was staining the teeth for 24 hours in the Coke and coffee, and once the 24 hours were up, we took the teeth out and kept 2 teeth from each stain to serve as our control. Step 2 was brushing the teeth with each toothpaste, and we did this 10 times, and each time we did it for 10 seconds in clockwise circles. And that picture is from brush 5. And step 3 was to compare the color of the teeth after each brush to the gradient that we painted. And our variables. So our variables were the 2 different staining liquids, which were the Coke and coffee, and then the 4 different whitening agents: charcoal, baking soda, silica, and hydrogen peroxide.
So in these 2 pictures, you can see the control compared to our final brush. As you can see, the teeth are much darker than they are in our final brush.
As you can see in our graph, each of the toothpaste started at an 8 and went down considerably after each brush, all of them getting down to a 1.
So this second graph is for the Coke stain, and as you can see by brush 5, all of the toothpaste were down to about a 3, which is a really big difference. And then slowly from brush 5 to 10, they each made their way to a 1.
So after we conducted our experiment, we analyzed the numbers, and we predicted wrong. We predicted that Colgate would work best because hydrogen peroxide is very abrasive. However, Arm& Hammer was the most effective, and the coffee stain was much harder to get out than the Coke because all of the toothpaste brought the Coke teeth, the teeth that were stained in Coke to a 1 at the end. Yeah, so its best whitening agent against coffee was a tie between Arm & Hammer and charcoal, but for the Coke, it was Arm & Hammer.
So for some errors that we had were that we wanted to all brush with each toothpaste the same amount of time, so the data would be constant. So we decided we would all do 3 times, but then we had to like stay home and everything. So we only got up to 10 brushes. So each person only brushed their 4th toothpaste only once. So it's a little inconstant. And then also, while we were doing our testing, someone from our group had the play. So Sarah had to fill in for that person, and she didn't really know what the difference was between clockwise circles and not. And finally, we didn't measure the amount of toothpaste every time we put it on.
So some fun facts are that the charcoal toothpaste actually made one of the teeth darker.
The Arm & Hammer toothpaste was very grainy.
The charcoal toothpaste made a big mess and was really hard to clean.
The Sensodyne toothpaste and Colgate toothpaste had the best feel and were the easiest to brush with.
Buffalo teeth smell really bad.
And never mix calcium with Coke because it explodes.
The Arm & Hammer toothpaste was the most effective for whitening teeth.
Questions?
And then here's our works cited list.
All right. Thanks very much, guys.
Can I stop sharing?
Yes, you may. Same procedure. If anybody has any questions, raise your hand virtually, and then y'all can call on them.
Rachel?
I don't know if you already said this, but don't when you use like the charcoal toothpaste, it will make. Wouldn't you need to brush it for like longer for all the, like wouldn't it make the teeth darker because of the coloring?
Yeah,
Well,
but you wash it out. You
yeah,
wash
so sorry.
it
Buffalo
like
teeth. Go.
it makes your teeth look black while you're brushing it, but then you like brush it out, and then like the toothpaste already like stuck the whole the bad stuff that's on your teeth, and when you wash it out, it's good.
Karen?
I remember that when you were testing, you had like the you were brushing teeth for like 5 seconds or 10 seconds. How did you decide on that time?
So you brush your mouth you're supposed to for around 2 minutes for all your teeth. So when dividing that by 32 or something teeth, it came around to being about 10 seconds per tooth, especially because each of the teeth are pretty big, and we just did one side.
I have a question about your background. You mentioned that charcoal toothpaste acts like a magnet for the stains. Can you explain what you meant by that?
Yeah, so the charcoal in the toothpaste is actually carbon, and that carbon has a really porous surface. So when those like particles like come in contact with the dirt particles on the teeth, because it's so porous, it kind of sucks the dirt particles off of the teeth to make them whiter.
Okay, got it. Are there any other questions? Great. Well, Very well done, everyone. You should all be proud of yourselves.